you stand aside.
I just anticipating.
Call to order the regular public meeting of the Public Works Authority. We have Lily Cooper of the First Christian Church to lead us in word of prayer.
So God, we're grateful for the knowledge, knowing that you are in this place, that you care about us, that you care about what goes on in Clinton, that you care about what goes on with the city council tonight. And so I'm asking, and we're asking, Father, that you give discernment, that you give wisdom and understanding to these men. And God, we ask that you help them make wise decisions as they continue to lead this city. Father, we want your will to be done, and we want to be an example of goodness and kindness and love, and we're grateful for how you set the pace for that. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
And Councilman Stewart, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome all the families that have new councilman, Stephanie, Emma. Welcome. Judge, thank you for coming out. We want to see you here now regularly. The consent agenda has been mailed out to all the councilmen. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Dowdell?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McComas?
I wasn't here. Can I vote on
Well, you haven't had the minutes, have you?
that? Yeah. He wasn't here then again.
Chris.
So we approved this. Yeah.
Chris, you were here?
Yeah.
He's out. Oh, he's out. So he,
And Chairman?
yes. All right. Action item. Consider and take action on the First Amendment to the amended and restated water and wastewater operation and maintenance agreement with Infomark LLC. Mark?
One of the things that was required of us to operate the RO plant and produce potable water was a Class B water license as issued by the state of Oklahoma. What you see in front of you is the result of numerous visits and hours of discussion between myself and Infomark personnel. Jeremy Brush, who used to work here and run our water plants, is with us tonight to present and to you and talk to this amendment. I would tell you that this amendment will expire with the existing contract, which expires June 30th of 2020. I believe that's correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
And I will give you the floor.
Good evening, everyone. For those that remember me, it's been a couple of years, but I managed the water and wastewater facilities there between 2011 and 2017.
Jeremy, excuse me, would you go right
Yes,
up
sir.
there so that you'll be a mic
So I managed facilities there between 2011 and 2017. Infomark's been operating the facility since 2010, so we're in our 10th year of the partnership that we have with the city of Clinton. And it's been a trying one, more for the community because we went through an extreme drought. We've had repercussions from that. We've also gone through and helped develop many plans that are set us up in the position we're in today. One of the challenges that's also come from the back end of that is we invested in infrastructure, built a new RO facility, and then of course it rained. The one thing that everybody feared when we were going through making the decisions we were. So now we have a facility that's built, ready to operate, and we don't have a need for the water. I mean, just to be really frank about it. So one of the things that we've gone through over the years, we looked at all the different costs to produce water at the facilities, and one of the things that came up on the back end of that was the RO plant's the most expensive water to produce, and Clinton Lake being the cheapest. So one of the things that we've been working with Mark on and talking through is all those different costs, whether it's chemical costs, maintenance costs, electrical costs, all those things factor into what it takes to operate the facilities and the system as a whole. So we were going through things, where we sit right now, the RO plant is there in place, it still has a couple components to be fully commissioned, and needed a license to do that, required by the state. So through many meetings with Mark, we actually were able to go through and put together a plan to allow us to come in and operate the facility as it stands for zero cost. We actually worked with Mark to develop a plan that will allow for the public works to take over the mowing of the facilities, which would free up the labor from our existing operators to operate the facility. The contract will allow for, within the first 90 days, we'll actually evaluate all the equipment that's there, since some has been sitting for a period of time, some of it hasn't been commissioned, but it hasn't been constructed. So we'll put together all the maintenance schedules for the equipment, because one of the biggest things is y'all have invested millions of dollars into a facility, and it's all under warranty. We want to make sure that warranty is kept intact. And it takes good preventative maintenance records and making sure everything's maintained properly to do that. So within the first 90 days of executing the amendment, we'll actually put together that full plan and give a report on where the condition of the equipment is now, anything that needs to be done, and show the maintenance schedule for that equipment. Anybody have any questions?
Oh, boy, do I am totally confused about this RO plant. In the last 3 years, I've heard so many stories about the need and the necessity for it, and everything else, and since it's been built, we haven't had one drop of RO water. I've also been told that we've had people, whoever they may be, go out and process that plant periodically to make sure that none of the filters, none of any of the components would go bad. And now you're saying that things have not been operated, and the plant is ready to operate. My question is, why do we have to have an outside source do what other cities hire their own employees to do? We have a water department, and I'm just curious as to why we can't have somebody in the city of Clinton as an employee that can be certified to run this water plant. I don't know anything about any other cities, but I know that there's been in the past, Clinton has been well able to take care of itself without outside sources coming in. We have farmed out every department we have in Clinton to outside sources. Well, we don't have any department heads. We have outside sources taking care of it. And in this contract here, or this amendment, we don't see anything about how much it's going to cost the city of Clinton. I got the report from Debbie Blanchard that our taxes are down nearly 10%, and they've been going down for 2 years. And I haven't seen anything coming into Clinton that's going to raise that tax base to where we can hire any more employees. And now we're fixing to hire an outside agency that's going to have who knows how many employees, even mowing the grass. Why are we having to pay an outside agency to mow the grass and trim the hedges?
Well, there's about 10 questions here. I'll get a couple of them. What Jeremy said was this is at zero cost to the city for Infomark to take over. Now, Infomark came here in 2010,
Yes.
which I know was before I came. I think it's before you came. Probably the only people behind this table that would have been here would have been Lisa and Ryan. I don't know how much they remember as to why Infomark or Chevron Trent at the time was brought on due. One of the things that we can do is economic development funds for landscaping purposes can be used to mow these properties. So we shift the cost of that from an operational fund to a fund that has another source of All these people will tell you things, Bobby, I don't know who they are, but I think you come to myself or Jeremy or Jake, I think we can put some of those at ease. Of course, back when this came about, your drought was, in the extreme cases, this project was already underway before I got here. I got here on kind of the tail end of it. I think the Arrow plant is a blessing to Clinton, Oklahoma, because you could have another 2 years of drought, and where would you be then? But my point is that the amendment in front of you operates the RO plant, keeps the membranes, the integrity of them. They keep maintenance records, which protects my warranties if I'm wrong. Some of the equipment, that's not mine, but some of the equipment is very expensive. The value of that to us, I can't really put a dollar on. It frees the city staff up that has been operating the RO plant in order to protect the membrane. Now they can go back to what they were doing, which we've got a water distribution crew. We do not have a water production crew. I think we're working toward where we want to get, and I think this amendment helps us get there. I think it's a good idea. I applaud him for Mark, for kind of coming to us and getting out of the box.
One thing, Bobby, that I think might be, is a little confusing. Of course, there's been a name change from Severn Trent to Infomark, same group.
Yes.
But when you're talking about hiring outside of Clinton, in essence, we're not, because we've contracted with this group through 2020.
This contract does go through 2020, correct?
Right, and they have been actually processing all this water and actually working as employees of the city of Clinton that's just under contract with a specialty group. They've been here for several years. One of the things that would answer and address what you're concerned about is that it is going to be managed by the same group that's managing our water system now. So you're not having anything new coming in. And here's the blessing. This ought to speak to what you care about. I know I've watched what Mark's been through for the last 3 years in trying to figure out how we can achieve DEQ requirements and have the right type of licensed people to actually do this. He is chiseled out, and both parties are to be applauded for this, I think, Infomark, as well as the city manager and the city in this. And that this is at no cost to the city of Clinton. Now, this is what's amazing. Now, this ought to speak to what you care about. What I care about is the expense of this. We have professionals now that are going to be by DEQ standards, and then we're going to open this up hopefully this year. Obviously, we're going to be having RO water going into our system this year as a result of what they are suggesting that we say yes to here, and that is they will be coordinating in a professional manner our water treatment center. And I will take issue a little bit with what you said, and I know the vein of what you're saying. The drought was in, and the $28 million project was voted on by the people. Now we have abundance of water. But I go back to what Mark said, and that is that we're in a 20-year drought cycle, and we were long due for the drought. And professionals say, we're going to be back there. So what we have here is not only a blessing, and it's really not something that is a negative. It's a positive, having the water treatment center. And we also have an opportunity now for industrial development, industrial growth. There are things that are blessings that have come as a result of this. So I understand what you're talking about, but this is an absolute win-win for the community of Clinton to have this. But Bobby, I think, honestly, if you look at this, you're going to be pleased. This is about, I did not anticipate actually being able to look at something that would be of no cost, extra cost to the city of Clinton under this arrangement. And so, whatever, do you have some other questions?
Yeah, there's one, item number 1, paragraph A. There's a part in there that says the operator will not be liable for any loss. Does that mean if they go out there and they do make a mistake, that we just say, oh, no, that's all right? I mean, there has to be some accountability for whatever they're doing.
Section.
On the 3rd page, Exhibit E. And it is, we're reverse osmosis is gonna taste like frog pond also. Because our water quality right now is, everyone comes and hates to drink Clinton water.
I didn't hear which item it was.
Go ahead and address that initial, what you were talking about, that you were talking about liability.
On it, yes, says the operator will not be liable for any loss, damage, or liability arising from and related from this, to the municipality's rejection of or refusal to perform said maintenance, including any loss, damage, or liability, and for failure of facilities, failure to comply with applicable law, failure to meet the requirements of this assignment, claims for indemnification.
Yeah, so Bobby, you have to read the whole paragraph. The paragraph is talking about, they're gonna make recommendations to us with regard to the maintenance that needs to be performed. If we don't perform that maintenance, then we can't hold them responsible for future losses. Read the whole paragraph together.
My question is, how can we afford to do the maintenance? We can't afford to hire anybody out of the city to take care of it. I'm telling you, this thing is a money pit.
Well, we spent $28 million on it already, Bobby. What do you want us to do, let it rock?
We'll spend 14 million and have it bulldozed down.
Really? Really?
I'm telling you, this thing is gonna cost us more money in the long run than the city of Clinton has got to spend on it. Unless we see a financial turnaround in this city. And then I'm not seeing a financial turnaround in this city. We've got a 10% tax decrease.
I agree with you. I think this town needs to grow. I'm looking at the guy back here whose responsibility is, yeah, roll it up, look behind you. You can't market a town in Oklahoma that doesn't have sufficient water. When Dallin moved into the old, was it Baker's Hughes? Or, down here in the industrial park?
Moved into
I got a call. Do you guys have sufficient water? And my response was, Clinton, Oklahoma running out of water is not an option. And I told them what we had on the table, and they show up down here. You must have water in order to market your community. Roland, I'm kind of speaking out of my realm here, but chime in anytime and tell me we've got too much.
You're doing good.
Thank you.
Well, and Bob, last time too, that might speak to this thing about the economic benefits of the $28 million facility. We're in a position now to sell our water, and we've just now sold for, how long is the contract with Butler? And the Frontier Development Authority, how long is that?
I think it was a 3 to 5 year contract.
Okay, it's a five-year contract.
Renewal.
So what we've got, Bob, because we have this access to groundwater in the future, we were able to negotiate with Butler, and we're getting, what is it, over 100, maybe 100, I don't know how many $100,000 we're going to get back as a city that we've been spending on false take-or-pay water. We're going to be able to bring X amount of dollars back into the coffers that we're going to be able to spend elsewhere. Now listen, what you and I sat down and talked about, and as 4-0 was the vote of the council on asking the general public to maintain the half-penny sales tax in November. That is critical mass. That will address more than anything that we can do in shoring up our infrastructure so that we do have plenty of money to use in all sorts of areas, from fire to police to water. And that's coming down the pike in November. It's a very exciting possibility for the citizens of Clinton. They're going to address themselves this negative economic environment that you're concerned about. And I think you're misplacing the negativity here when you're looking at this $28 million facility as a negative. It's an absolute positive. We are going to be a source of water in western Oklahoma for 50 years. There is every prediction in the world that Clinton is going to be selling water to water-hungry communities that want to lock into Clinton. I mean, that is absolutely what we've set ourselves up for. Some of these things don't happen overnight, and we do have to take some chances, but this is something, I just go back to what I was telling Jeremy, this is one of the finest decisions that has ever been made, perhaps in the history of this town, was building that water treatment center. We've gone from a hellish situation to heaven. And now there's potential, Bob. It's just the potential that we have. But that life's about potential. And we're setting ourselves up for success.
None of the public water has come through this plant out here, has it? or will it?
Well, ask me that again.
That Butler water that we're giving to Butler, none of that's coming through the RO plant.
They have their own meters.
That's my issue. When is our RO plant gonna come online?
That's what we're working toward, got to have a license first.
But it looks like
Has,
this year, right?
okay, now let me ask you a question. Has Clinton, the city of Clinton, done anything with any of its water department employees to get them certified?
Not
work that RO
Not
plant.
to a Class B license, no. Now, can they operate? Yes, but I can't legally produce potable water.
Why haven't we trained anybody as a Clinton City employee? And I remember when,
I think part of that goes back to what you just said about lack of sources on the sales tax. I don't know that we can afford to at this point. I agree with you that we should keep as much in-house as what we can, but if we can't afford to do all this other stuff that you want us to do, how are we going to afford to train somebody else?
Lonnie Teal come in here one time and walked up to this desk with his cell phone in his hand and said, I can operate everything in that RO plant from this cell phone right here. Now, how much training does it take to teach an employee how to run a cell phone? If you've got that programmed into that cell phone, I'd like to see the RO plant producing water tomorrow. But I've been told in the past that we'll never be able to afford to turn that RO plant on and run it. So, I want to leave here tonight with the assurance that whatever decision we make, that this RO plant out here is going to go online in the near future for the citizens of Clinton. We have water down here in Lincoln Addition you cannot stand to drink because the quality of the water is so nasty. They can't cook with it, they can't drink with it. And if they take a shower in it, they smell like a frog.
The quality of the water in the Lincoln Addition doesn't have anything to do with the plants in which it's produced.
Is this RO plant going to increase the quality of the water in Lincoln
The
Addition?
problem with their water down there, they're dead end. They're not only, water does not pass through, it gets down there and sits. It only moves out of the system as they turn their taps on.
You mentioned that this was going to be no additional cost.
Right.
Is there any cost savings doing this? Are we saving money anywhere on this?
When we were originally approached, and Jeremy, I'm going to drag you into this. By the way, there's 3 other Infomark employees here. One of the things that we get from being associated with Infomark is a degree of expertise that we can call and ask questions. There are no perfect world, there are no perfect systems, there are no perfect plans. The number that first came to us from Infomark, and this was operating at 24/7, that would have staff sufficient to do that in conjunction with Lake Clinton, was $345,000 a year. You do not see that number in this plan. That is where the 2 entities came together and we understood what each other's needs were, and finances were, and what we could do and what we couldn't do. So are there savings? Yes, but none that have ever been in the budget here.
So the savings are from us not paying it off.
Right, what we consider now, and I keep looking back, yes, is if Lake Clinton goes drag in, the staff that are there, come to the RO plant, and they operate the RO plant. So they work with us to find ways to be more efficient with their staff, is what they've done.
I agree with Bobby that the pressure is on, that it would be nice to tell the public that we are running that thing and it's going through our pipes. And the one thing, and I don't understand either why, it's over my pay grade, but I don't understand why we have not had a license, somebody that in the city that could be licensed. All I know here, what I like about this deal is that these people are licensed. You know, they've got, what is it, a C? Is that right?
I've got people with Cs,
We gotta have
I need a B.
We need a B, all right. Got a B or nothing. So let's say we get these guys in here. And that thing needs to be running no matter, it needs to be pushing water out of it through 3 or 4 times a week.
We do it about 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, in order to protect the integrity of the membrane.
So in short term, Bobby, I agree. In short term, this gets us closer to being on because we have that individual representative for the city that has that license. Now, another, things that I think about whenever you're saying, bulldoze it, all I've thought about is building relationships with communities all over Clinton and try to get, I'll just say it, try to get Foss and not spend any money on theirs. Come down to ours and let's get it going. But we have to have that relationship and we have to be positive. And I look at it as an asset. We're gonna sell this stuff. Bulldozing it was one of the craziest things I've heard in the last 20 minutes. It will no doubt be a positive, and this is I commend, I don't know you from Adam, I commend Mark for doing the deal. I told Patch today, it looked too good to be true. It looked like a great deal. So I'll make the motion we pass this amendment with them for Mark for however long it needs to be, 6 months or 20.
It goes through June the 30th, 2020. We coincide with the life of the agreement.
I'll second.
Trustee Dowdell?
Yes.
Trustee McCombs?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
No.
And Chairman?
Yes. Thank you.
No problem.
This is time for any trustee comments, public works area.
Okay, on the water situation. If Lincoln Addition is a dead end, there can be a loop installed. If I've been told right, that can circulate that water and eliminate the dead end in Lincoln Addition. What has to be done to get that done?
That's a question I'll ask, but I'm not going to get into this conversation under trustee's report. I'll take any comments you have, and I'll get an answer to any questions.
Well, you have a city water department that's supposed to know how to do that. I'll leave that up to you to find out.
Any other comments in the public works?
Yeah, I have it. Mark, there's a hole on Sunset Drive on Rolling Hills, a big old hole that we have that, it's like a speed bump.
Is that the one you and I took pictures of the other day?
Yeah. You're aware of it? I just want to make sure you're aware of it.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Red circle.
I thought maybe people were driving around there too fast.
And really, this is as a result of a water cut, and this is kind of a bystander, but don't avoid those. Please run over. We depend upon you to compact them so we can come in and put asphalt on top of them.
So it's only been 6 weeks.
And that's about standing. And you can slow down.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Well, maybe you can't.
Any other words of wisdom? Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Trustee McCombs?
Yes.
Trustee Dowdell?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? And Chairman?
Yes. Call the meeting, regular meeting together of the Clinton City Council. You had your consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Get a second.
Councilman Dowdell?
Yeah.
Councilman Stewart?
Yes.
Councilman Jones,
Yes.
Councilman McComas, and Mayor.
Yes. Now, on this action item A, as I understand it, and maybe Ryan can address this, or there's been a change in timing on this, and we need to table this at our junction here.
Yeah,
Per
it's
our,
pretty simple. There was no forum tonight. They couldn't vote on it procedurally. It can't come.
So we need a motion to table this. on
Sure.
our end.
That works.
Make a motion, we table.
Second.
Councilman Stewart,
Yes.
Councilman Dowdell,
Yes.
Councilman McComas, Councilman Jones,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes, and I want to say, and other may want to chime in, one, of course, welcoming, Patch and Chris. Then I also, having now been here for 3 years, which is not forever, certainly not like Jason Gillen was 7, I think, that's right, is that correct? And Chewy 4, that'd be right? And one of them's here tonight, but I appreciate just the baseline of service. I appreciate it more now, obviously, since I have been involved than I could have, or the general public perhaps could have. But Chewy and Jason have both, in my experience, since I have been here, they have exhibited the #1 quality, in my view, that every councilman should have, and that is the big picture for the betterment of the whole. And everything that I have seen them do, and their deliberations, people are not always in agreement, but I've been more than impressed with the service given by Jason, and certainly by Chewy. And I personally want to thank them. They kind of put up with me for the first 3 years that I've been here. And I just want to publicly thank them for their service. They've done outstanding work. We've done some really, some big historical things, frankly, certainly in the last 2 or 3 years, that have changed the complexion of Clinton, I think, for the positive, from an economic standpoint and a revenue standpoint. We've moved together. We haven't always agreed on everything, but we did come together and push this community forward. And I just want to thank Jason, who is here, and I want to thank Chewy in his absence. Any other comments?
Well, Jason's been a friend of mine since a long time, 40 years. And I appreciate, I had no idea what I was stepping into, and you did, and you were patient with me, and you taught me a lot, and you're tough, and you don't care about nothing but doing what's right for Clinton, and I really appreciate you. 7 years is a long time. I've only been in this deal 10 months, and that's a long time. 7 years.
Well, this is encouraging, Patch.
Tell me.
Chris. This is encouraging to them.
So, yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to say that. You know that. Choose not here, I'm saying that.
I'll pass it on. Any other comments? No, Manager?
I would echo the sentiments of those that sit up here, to the two new ones. If you don't know, ask. We'll find out. Don't take verbatim what you hear in the public. Come here and ask. That's one reason that we're here. We do have some tenured city employees that have been around long enough to see a few things happen. We'll find out. We may not know the answer that day, but we'll find out. And my thanks to you. This is different than any position that you've ever held. It is what you make of it. I appreciate that you're willing to get involved. So thank you very much.
Yeah, the future looks very bright. Welcome, both of you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Councilman Dowdell?
Yes.
I'm not sure who seconded it.
Patch.
Councilman McComas? Councilman Stewart? Councilman Jones? And Mayor.
Yes.